What's going on? You're in the Beat Sessions, your place for all things music. I'm your host, Mitchell Weary. Let's have a look at this stunning new record from Leon Bridges, entitled Leon. He released that on October 4th. This is the fourth studio album for the Texas crooner and his follow-up to 2021's Gold Digger Sound. Leon Bridges is without a doubt one of the most dynamic, innovative, and influential artist to emerge in the last decade. He has cultivated a sound that is so uniquely his own that I would argue from the moment you drop the needle on any one of his records and you hear the sound of his voice, it's impossible to not be completely captivated by what you're hearing. Thrilled to talk about him and this new record, starting with that amazing voice of his. With the soul and neo-soul influence of his sound, he often draws comparisons to guys like Otis Redding and Sam Cooke, and rightfully so. I've argued before on the channel, I think that Otis Redding is the greatest singer ever in popular music. And so to read these comparisons and then to listen to Leon over the years and to have him deliver on those comparisons, it gives me chills. It makes the hair on my arms just stand straight up right now, even talking about him. His voice is powerful and beautiful and at moments overwhelming, but that's a good thing. It's the type of music that I dare any one of you to get through this thing without shedding even one tear. And it's not just the quality of his voice and the production behind it, which I really have to applaud him for as well, but it's the songwriting, the narrative structure, the beautiful storytelling that takes you to a time and place so vividly that I admire and enjoy as well. I would say that the best songwriters out there have the ability to do what he's doing on this record. And what I love about him is there's this sense of nostalgia that he evokes, and it's with his lyrics and his music. And it's not out of a desire to want to go into the past, but I think it's out of a need to move forward into the future in a positive and constructive manner. And I think that that's one of the most brilliant things about him in general, and in particular, this record. He is a guy that is about trailblazing and moving forward. And even on his older records, his previous records, you hear a man that is certainly confident. But I'd argue that with this particular record, no doubt that he has felt more confident, more in stride, and more like himself than he ever has before. It's pouring off this record. It's infectious. It's impossible to not feel it when you listen to it. And so, the voice, it's incredible there. The production behind his vocal, but also the production and the music as well, something I'm really excited to talk about also. This is a man that I would argue has redefined what Americana is. So many things driving a sound. There's not one particular thing that you can pick out on each track that really, I'd say, serves as the foundation necessarily, but jazz, funk, soul, country, folk, all these things driving sound. But now he's taken it to a new level, I'd say, with that desert rock sound that, you hear it in the side projects with Krugman that he did. I love both of those EPs. They're incredible. But it's interesting. You look at the background of desert rock starting in California, but I'd say that there's elements to that genre that with proximity to the border really, create the driving influence in a lot of what's going on with that genre. And obviously, as you move across that southern border, you have artists coming out of Arizona, out of New Mexico, out of Texas. They're all living that same experience. They're all hearing the same influences. And again, based on region, there are different nuances. Not everything is exactly the same. But to hear the way that he's taken that desert rock sound and so many other contemporary genre offshoots and built them on that Americana foundation, it's really what has made his sound so one of a kind. And I'd argue that a decade from now, 2 decades from now, probably jump on Wikipedia and you're going to read about the movement of Americana and how Leon Bridges was one of those people that helped redefine it, with his sound. So I cannot say enough positive things about this record. The production is incredible, and again, the compositions at times they're minimal. They have great movement from start to finish, where they'll start in minimal territory, but then fill out. And so many different instruments that are at play on this record that you really never know what you're getting with each each individual composition, and it makes it so exciting from start to finish. 13 brilliant tracks in 44 minutes. I mean, there is not a second of filler on this record. Every single moment shines, and I am just so excited to jump into the track list. When a Man Cries is your album opener, and you talk about the power of his music. This is a track from right out the gate. We hear him in a vulnerable state, and I love that. I love that of all the emotions that you're going to feel on this record, he chooses to lead off with that. And I think it's just a shining moment that really stands out. You get this slow fade that ushers in a moody piano, percussion elements that are both simple in their arrangements, and Leon's voice hits with these light melodies, but the mood stays dark. I love that dissonance there. That contrast is just so well done on his end. You get a little bass that enters. I love the guitar element that works in. It has this kind of outlaw feel that I would say in a lot of ways driven by country, driven by desert rock a little bit as well. But then this drum roll ushers in this big coda, and there's a particular line in the song, "Turn my pain into power, my fear into desire." And just a stellar album opener that really sets the tone for just a very just incredible experience. I'm almost at a loss for words trying to come up with different things to say about just how I feel, how excited I am about what he's doing on this record. That's what I love is your second track. Drums open up, piano, bass, and a little guitar. You get this sultry R&B and jazz-driven track. And I love the string element that comes in. Kind of feels like he's drawing on Eastern influences with those strings. So that's a great component there. And there's this recitative vocal element in the coda that is kind of unique that I really enjoyed as well when he gets to that spot. Laredo is your third track. Love the narrative tale in this story. Light acoustic guitar and a shaker that opens up. That vocal enters, and you get influences of soul and funk on this track. Big time desert rock, and really feeling the Latin influences driving that desert rock feature in the guitar work especially. Then there's this flute that comes in, has a bit of a jazz drive to it that, again, it's those small unique nuances that take you to a different place that you weren't quite expecting, and that really give the tracks their own unique personality. Panther City, your fourth track, it's got this light driving percussion, an acoustic rhythm guitar that drive the first verse. Love the way that the bass works in after that, and you get this great breakdown that features just vocal and other instruments working in and out, and then the music comes back and finishes in as far as the textures, nice and strong, brilliant finish on this track. It's going to lead into Ain't Got Nothing on You. Your fifth song, it's got this drum roll, introduces this breezy track. It's like country meets that breezy California's 70s rock sound. Sweet romantic number. I really just like the lyrics and just the reflections in that particular song. Simplify might be one of the best tracks on this record. Piano and wind chimes to open. Simple arrangement just allows Leon's vocal to shine on this track. It is just stunning. Somber mood with feelings of regret. The harmonies are exquisite that work in. Surrounded by a little pedal steel, I really like the way the harmonies and the pedal steel hit together. Textures fill out towards the end on this song brilliantly. Teddy's Tune is your seventh track, little instrumental interlude. It's about 50 seconds long. Just enjoy it. It's tough to kind of like frame it, but it's a cool little kind of like midpoint in the record. Never Satisfied is your eighth track. Times mid-tempo, got this soul and R&B feel. Breezy acoustic guitar, significant feel in like the pop nature of it. There's some moments where you really feel that pop element come into the fold more so than other things, and this is one of those tracks that I'd argue where you're getting that. I think it's working really well. Peaceful Place is your ninth song. That's just where I feel like Leon is, and this track is another one of my favorites. Picks up the tempo with world percussion, got a dope bass lick, some pedal steel that's going to drive this thing. Excellent guitar riff as well, and I love the way that this composition builds out and progresses from start to finish. Can't Have It All is your 10th song. Acoustic guitar, mellow percussion, a little more pedal steel on this guy that drives this track. It's got a big country feel, gospel elements that are working in as well, and I really especially enjoy the harmonies on this track. Ivy is your 11th song. Acoustic rhythm and arpeggiated riff. You get this really, it allows the Leon's vocal to shine. I really like the production on the two guitars there. The harmonies that hit are great. It's another track that's going to have that kind of pop sheen to it that is working really well. Your penultimate and 12th track, Ghetto Honeybee. Gorgeous strings, acoustic guitar to open. Get this sweet minimal track. Really enjoyed the lyrics on this one. Nice love song. And the strings that just swell as the drums enter on this thing. Definitely a highlight on this track for me. And then your final song, God Loves Everybody. Piano opens, vocal element enters right after that pretty much. You get these elegant strings that work in at times. They don't appear too much, but when they do shine, they have an incredible impact on this song with its minimalism. And again, Leon's voice, true to form, so beautiful. This is easily one of the best records of the year. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to give this thing an 8.8 out of 10. And obviously, we're going to pick up the wax on this thing. If you haven't had a chance to listen to this album yet, give it a go. I really hope you enjoy it. And I hope you find this review helpful as well. Please like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, do all the things to help me blow this project up in 2024. Stay tuned throughout the week for more album reviews and tune in to Classic Wax on its new day and new time. We're going at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is on Tuesday night. Once again, moving that around. But I hope you find time to tune into that and that you enjoy it. And in the meantime, take care. We'll see you next time on the Beat Sessions.